Throughout history, there have been figures who have stood at the crossroads of legends and reality, people shrouded in enigma. Their stories are whispered in hushed tones, their footprints evoking both awe and intrigue. Today, we journey into the heart of mystery itself as we unravel the tales of the most mysterious people to ever grace our world. Only question is, are you ready to uncover the unknown? First up is Adam Rayner. Adam Rayner was the only known person in history to have been recorded as both a dwarf and a giant. Medical marvel brought about by the combination of dwarfism and a tumor inside his pituitary gland that left doctors shocked and amazement. Unfortunately, this was also accompanied by several other serious health issues. Now, Adam Rayner was born in Graz, Austria in 1899 to parents who were both of average height. However, it became clear early on that their son's growth was drastically stunted. Even into adulthood, Adam Rayner stood at roughly the size of a child. When World War I broke out, he enlisted into the army, but his conspicuously small stature led doctors to conduct a series of tests to determine his eligibility. Standing at just 4 feet 6 inches tall, doctors ultimately classified Rayner as a dwarf and deemed him unfit to be an effective soldier. The cutoff, according to IFL Science, was 4 foot 10. The most striking and particularly unusual thing about Rayner's dwarfism, compared to others, was the size of his hands and his feet. They were far too large, basically, for his overall size. So you can imagine a 4 foot 6 person, super short. I'm only 5'9". All right, I'm not that tall. That's more than a foot down for me. That is crazy. That's like probably to my chest, if not like lower. So that's crazy. I mean, it sucks that he couldn't be a soldier, but honestly, at the same time, dude, probably saved his ass at the end of the day. Let's be real. Like, you were going to World War I, bro, and you weren't even 5 feet tall. Might have been done, bro. So anyways, let's get back to it. Now, despite his short height, he actually wore a size 10 shoe. That's a 43 in European size, which is crazy big for his actual height. Just 1 year later, Adam Rayner had grown another 2 inches and tried once again to enlist with the army, but he was once again denied. Still didn't hit that growth spurt. Despite the growth spurt, he was still 2 inches too short, which was what I was just saying. As fate would have it, though, this would soon change, alright? And this is where we get some crazy stuff. Even in 1920, Rayner was still well below the average height. Health records show that he was also relatively thin and underweight. So he wasn't just short, he was short and skinny and like frail, basically. So he wasn't big at all. At 21 years old, when a person typically stops growing, most doctors and people in his life assumed that Rayner was also done growing and would forever remain a dwarf. But then something happened. Rayner didn't just grow another 2 inches. He started to grow at an alarmingly accelerated rate without any sign of slowing down. Within a decade, as Rayner entered his 30s, he was well above that 4 foot 10 cutoff. He now towered over those around him at more than 7 feet tall. So dude, he grew almost 3 feet at this point in the span of 10 years, which is crazy because seeing as how around 21, early 20s is when you stop kind of physically growing. So I don't know. Imagine seeing somebody at 20 and then seeing somebody at 30 and they're 2 feet taller. Like, I would think they got the surgery at this point. You know what I mean? Crazy. Doctors were baffled. 2 men, Dr. Mandel and Dr. Winholz, started examining Rayner in 1930. Might be Windles. They began to suspect that Rayner may have developed a specific kind of tumor that caused an extreme case of acromegaly, a condition in this case caused by a tumor in his pituitary gland that caused abnormal growth of the face, hands, and feet due to an overproduction of growth hormones. This condition may be known to most through basically famous individuals like iconic wrestler Andre the Giant or the Munster star Fred Gwynn. Symptoms of acromegaly include enlarged hands and feet, which doctors noticed in Rayner. Additionally, over time, Rayner's face became more squarish in shape as his jaw and his eyebrows protrude more and more due to the condition. Rayner was also exceedingly tired a significant portion of the time, another common symptom of acromegaly. In a 1961 report by Oscar Hirsch, another doctor that studied Rayner, it was remarked that the man was unable to perform a normal bite due to the size of his tongue. It was so big that he could not bite normally. The now giant Rayner had also begun to lose his hearing at around 26 years old, which is super sad. That's crazy. As a result of his rapid growth, Adam Rayner also experienced issues with his spine, which had begun to curve sideways as each massive growth spurt made him taller and taller. Soon the doctors discovered that their hypothesis was correct. The tumor in Rayner's pituitary gland had been growing for more than a decade. Basically, they wanted to do the surgery anyways. At the time, such a surgery was incredibly risky as it would necessitate working closely with vital areas of the brain. On December 2nd, 1930, Rayner underwent the dangerous operation, Thankfully, the surgery performed by Oscar Hirsch was actually a success, which is crazy, good for them. Several months passed and Rainer returned to visit Mandel and Windles once more for a checkup. They were glad to see that his height had remained the same, no more sudden growth spurts. However, his spinal curvature was even worse, which indicated that although it was occurring at a much slower rate, he was in fact still growing, and it showed no signs of stopping. Unfortunately, Adam Rainer's health problems only got worse from there. He started to lose vision in his right eye. As he approached middle age, Rainer's spine curvature grew worse and his vision continued to deteriorate. Some accounts would later claim that he was often confined to a bed and incapable of taking care of himself because of the pain, and he spent the last years of his life in a home of the aged in Austria. He did live in such a home, but according to Hirsch's report, Rainer was actually able to take care of himself and was never confined to a bed. He was clumsy, but kind to his roommates, Hirsch wrote, as he told about Adam Rainer's doctors, basically at his home. When he was talking to other doctors, that's what he said. Adam Rainer eventually died at the age of 51 years old after undergoing surgery for perforation of the large institute and perthenosis was performed. Yeah, at the time of his death, Adam Rainer stood, by most estimates, a massive 7 feet 8 inches tall, although some estimates actually put him at 7'10". And yeah, he's the only person in all of history to be a dwarf and a giant at the same time, or in the same exact lifetime, which is insane. I mean, think he was growing for literally 30 years, because he really started growing at 21 until 30, you know what I mean? And then plus until he lived till 51, bro. He was growing the whole time. That's insane. I mean, fuck, I wish I could get a couple more inches, but I don't want that problem, you know what I mean? Anyways, moving on to the next one. Up next is celebrity number 6. In January 2020, Reddit user Tonsta H made posts on various subreddits discussing how they owned curtains containing fabrics covered with pop art illustrations of 8 different celebrities and were looking to identify each one. Since the initial post, Tonsta H and other Redditors have been able to identify the majority of the celebrities by matching the illustrations with source photos. However, the identity of one of the illustrations, now nicknamed Celebrity Number 6, has remained a mystery, with users attempting to find the source photo to conclusively prove who they are, but nobody has so far. According to Tonsta H, the curtains in question were purchased over 10 years ago, most likely in 2008. They claim that they obtained the curtains from a local store in Finland called Intia. Users researching the mystery discovered that the fabric had ties to Lucky Mraz, a company operating in the Czech Republic. This was confirmed thanks to a user finding the original product number for the fabric, so they found the actual item itself. On the website, the company listed as a cotton fabric vendors, including Robert Kaufman, Michael Miller, and Clothworks. It is speculated that one of these vendors produced the fabrics, as they were listed by Lucky Mraz in the Prague Patchwork Meeting newsletter in February of 2013. However, when users contacted the companies, Michael Miller and Clothworks claimed that the fabrics were not produced by them. Now, first off, the amount of information they're digging in to find out who these people are, I commend that, okay? I don't have enough time to be looking for random people on the internet like that. I don't know. This must have just caught the eye of a ton of people because they were like, oh, I think I recognize that person. I don't know. And you know how internet detectives are, man. They'll find anything. So this is kind of mind-blowing to me that people would spend their time actually trying to figure this out, but at the same time, not really. Meanwhile, Robert Kaufman responded saying that they could not actually disclose its designers' identities, despite the fact that the designers are actually just listed right on the website. Therefore, it is suggested that the fabric was either produced by Robert Kaufman or was a Lucky Mraz exclusive. But I'll put them right here so you can kind of get what I'm grasping at. Anyways, now since the original post in January 2020, Reddit users have actually successfully managed to identify almost every celebrity on the fabric. The first photo, celebrity number 1, is of Adriana Lima, a model most famous for modeling Victoria's Secret. The photo originated from a cover of XOXO and was possibly taken in 1999. Lima also appeared again on the fabric as celebrity number 3, being a photo of her taken in 2004 as a part of Victoria's Secret some kind of tour. The illustrations of celebrity number 2 and celebrity number 7 come from actors most famous for their roles on the TV show Lost. If you haven't seen it, must watch. Celebrity number 2 is Josh Holloway, with the photo originating from GQ Magazine 2004's Men of the Year event. Meanwhile, celebrity number 7 is Ian Somerhalder. The photo was taken during 2005's ABC Winter Press Party Tour at Universal Studios. Celebrity number 4 is Jessica Alba, famous for appearing in multiple movies and TV shows. Her photo originated from the 2007 Teen Choice Awards. Celebrity number 5 is confirmed to be Travis Fimmel, a model and actor whose photo originated from the 2003 WB Upfront at the Sheraton, New York. Finally, Orlando Bloom, most famous for his roles in the Lord of the Rings and the Pirates of the Caribbean franchises, appearing as celebrity number 8 with his photo originating from the Kinmana Junpo magazine in 2003. Based on comparisons with the fabric illustrations in the source photos, some differences can be noted, ranging from minor changes like small modifications to Summerhal's beard, and omissions like editing out Orlando Bloom's hands. Despite the efforts of multiple Reddit users, the identity of celebrity number 6 remains unknown, leading to subreddit r/celebrity number 6 being credited to discover the identity and the source photo itself. Notably, it is even disputed what gender the individual in question is. A poll on the subreddit indicates that 65% believe that celebrity number 6 is a woman, 35% believe that this individual is actually a man. And since the investigation begun, multiple candidates, male and female, have all been suggested as being celebrity number 6, with some photos sharing some similarities with the fabric illustration and others not at all. For instance, one popular theory is that celebrity number 6 is actually model Olga Sarova, with a photo of her appearing at 2007 Olympus Fashion Week Spring being compared to the illustration, with Sarova notably sharing some facial similarities with the actual illustration. Another potential candidate is actor Taylor Kitsch, where a photo of him shares similarity in regards to hair and facial structure. Additionally, Reddit user HughWattmate9001 conducted a 1-week investigation on Getty Images, searching through the entire 1998 to 2007 Getty Image archive of every photo that was taken by photographers responsible for the other celebrity photos appearing on this fabric. Basically, my guy went in on research way more than I would ever attempt to do, to be honest with you. I mean, especially for some random Reddit post, I would not spend a whole week searching all of Getty Images archives. That is crazy. But I commend this guy for it. Like, that's insane commitment. While they were unsuccessful in finding a matching source photo, they did list a number of celebrities they felt, based on an analysis of all the photos, were likely to be celebrity number 6. These included Olivia Wilde, Kristen Bell, Kate Hudson, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, Hilary Duff, and Angelina Jolie. They indicated that Wilde was the most likely candidate since she shared a similar face structure as the illustration and had been in many photos taken and published in 2004. Ultimately, as the present day, the search remains ongoing with no conclusional proof of who celebrity number 6 is, and basically no source image that where this photo originally came from, or anything actually linking somebody concretely to celebrity number 6. So this is still ongoing. If you're somebody that likes to investigate stuff like this on the internet, go check out the subreddit r/celebrity number 6 and maybe you can help them out. But we're moving on to the next one. Up next is Acre Boy. On March 27, 2017, Bruno de Melo Silva Borges, a Brazilian student, disappeared after leaving his home in Rio Branco in Acre. In his bedroom, Borges left several encrypted messages, 14 handwritten books, and a statue of philosopher Giordano Bruno. The civil police of Acre investigated the case and Interpol was actually called. Borges' disappearance received wide coverage on the internet, generating memes and online investigations. And you know, if it gets memes, it's popping. During the investigation, it was revealed that Borges had had the help of 2 friends and a cousin to carry out the project, that he had signed a contract to allocating part of the proceeds of the sale of his actual book to his 3 helpers. At dawn on August 11th the same year, Borges returned to his house barefoot, debilitated, and dehydrated. And basically what I just said is, apparently before he ever disappeared, he was working on a book. And apparently he told 3 of his friends that were in on this whole plan of helping him disappear for whatever reason, that whenever he ended up selling this book, these 3 would get some of the proceeds, would get some of the money or the profit coming in from this book. Which to me is just like, dude, this is just a big scam, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you fake your death for some insurance money, but instead this is like faking your disappearance for some internet clout, you know what I mean? We saw that earlier this year with the girl that was apparently missing. I seen her posted everywhere, and then apparently she faked it to go chill with her boyfriend. I don't know if that's actually true, so don't take my word on it. That's just what I've heard around the internet, and you know, you always gotta take that thing with like an entire thing of salt, bro. So anyways, let's get back to this. Soon after he arrived home, he began working on corrections for his book. And the whole reason that he was making corrections was because his book was actually receiving a ton of negative reviews. Borges ended up telling the police chief Alcino Jr. that he disappeared of his own free will and that he was not coerced by any external force. And he never ended up revealing where he was hiding out at. By September 26, Borges had gained 13 kilograms or 29 pounds and said he was surprised by the reactions to his project. 2 days later, Borges opened his room, which he considered a work of art for visitors. Weird. Since the discovery of the contracts, there have been several accusations to whether the case was a scheme to promote Borges' books. I agree, I feel that. The civil police of Acre and the state's public security advisory stated that the disappearance was most likely a marketing scheme, which Borges and his mother denied. According to Borges, the main intention of his project was to encourage people to acquire knowledge, and the accusations were made by sensationalist media. Borges' friends sued Borges, accusing him of not handing over the book's proceeds as was on the contracts. So basically, his friends helped him disappear so that he could make a bunch of money off of selling these books that were already getting terrible reviews. So clearly the book was probably trash. And yeah, like, the police think this was a scheme. I think this was a scheme just hearing about this for the first time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just the way my brain works. That anytime I feel a slight little bit of something weird, you know what I mean? A weird vibe, that I'm like, bro, this has got to be... It's got to be somebody trying to get over on me. You know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, that was him. He fucked over his friends, probably made his mother worry sick, had the whole police and Interpol out to look for him, and scammed some people out of money for some books that were probably not even that good. So anyways, moving on to the last person on this list. All right, last up for this video is the Somertan Man. The Somertan Man was an unidentified man whose body was found on December 1st, 1948 on the beach of Somerton Park, a suburb of Adelaide, South Australia. The case is also known after the Persian phrase tamam, meaning is over or finished, which was printed on a scrap of paper found months later in the fob pocket of the man's pants, which is basically like the back pocket. Basically, they didn't even really check his pockets and they found another one. Or I'm pretty sure it's the little small pocket that's inside your other pocket of jeans. Either way, they found a piece of paper that had the word tamam, which means is over or finished, which just kind of gives off that really creepy, ominous vibe. Like, all right, first off, this guy's unidentified, randomly found some random area where pretty much populated, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, getting back to it. A little sketchy. The scrap had been torn from the final page of a copy of Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, authored by 12th century poet Omar Khayyam. Following a public appeal by police, the book from which the page had been torn was located. On the inside back cover, detectives read through indentations left from a previous handwriting, a local telephone number, another unidentified number, and a text that resembled a coded message. The text had not been deciphered or interpreted in a way that satisfies authorities on the case. Since the early stages of the police investigation, the case had been considered one of Australia's most profound mysteries. There has been an intense speculation ever since regarding the identity of the victim, the cause of his death, and the events leading up to it. Public interest in the case remains significant for several reasons. The death occurred at the time of the heightened international tensions following the beginning of the Cold War, the apparent involvement of a secret code, the possible use of an undetectable poison, and the inability or unwillingness of authorities to identify the dead man. Anyways, yeah, so basically people are still interested in this case to this day, because as far as I know, this still has not been uncovered. But anyways, yeah, I mean, obviously I think this is suspect. It's kind of like one of those crime shows at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, you find somebody dead in a random spot, and then they got like coded messages. Like, bro, I don't know if y'all have ever watched Blacklist, but dude, that's some definite Blacklist vibes. So anyways, get back to it right now. On July 26, 2022, Adelaide University professor Derek Abbott, in association with genealogist Colleen M. Fitzpatrick, claimed to have identified the man as Carl Charles Webb, an electrical engineer and instrument maker born in 1905 based on genetic genealogy from DNA of the man's hair. South Australia Police and Forensic Science South Australia did not verify the results, although they were hopeful about being able to do so in the future. So basically, these two people from that university believe that they figured out who this actually is, but nobody else in the country is actually confirming it or has been able to confirm it yet. So that's a big yet at the end of the day, because like I said, a lot of people looking into this, although I'm sure it's just a lot of conspiracy theorists kind of thing. They're not trusting the government in this or the police. They're basically thinking that they're unwilling or unable to solve this. And that might not help, because two university professor kind of things, or genealogists and professor, just figured out or think that they figured out who this is. So sorry if that was a little bit confusing. I was just stumbling on my words, but it's been a long day. If you haven't checked out the first 3 parts, make sure you check that out. About to redo the thumbnails on all of them. And yeah, man, I don't know. I've been recording for too long at this point, so I'm ready to get out of here. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. If you do, like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, drop a comment, tell me I'm ugly, tell me how much better you are than me. I don't really care, bro. At the end of the day, I hope you get laid, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.